Hello and welcome. Today we are diving deep into the alchemist's pantry. We're going to unlock the secrets of all those powders, seeds, and minerals that can take a simple meal and turn it into something, truly unforgettable. We're talking about the very soul of cooking.
So just for a second, I want you to think about your favorite food. Like, really picture it. Got it in your head? Okay, now imagine eating that exact dish, but it's totally bland. No flavor, no smell, no excitement whatsoever. Kind of depressing, right?
Well, that bland, flavorless world, that's pretty much what cooking would be like without spices. They are the secret weapons that turn food from just, fuel into a real experience. So what exactly are they?
At their most basic level, it's actually really simple. Spices and condiments are just substances we add to make food better. And I'm not just talking about taste. They bring vibrant colors, amazing smells. They make our food so much more attractive and, let's be honest, fun to eat.
And it goes way beyond just making things taste good. A lot of spices actually get your appetite going and can even help with digestion. Plus, they are the absolute best way to add variety. You can take the same chicken breast, add a little smoked paprika, and boom, you're in Spain. Or add some cumin, and you've got a taste of the Middle East. It's incredible.
But gotta give a quick word of caution here. It is absolutely possible to have too much of a good thing. Going overboard with spices can sometimes lead to things like acidity or irritation. It really all comes down to balance.
Okay, so if we want to get the most out of our spices, we have to start at the very beginning, how we buy them. And this is about so much more than just grabbing the first jar you see on the shelf. It's really all about quality.
So here are a few tips that could make a huge difference. My number one piece of advice, whenever you can, buy your spices whole and grind them yourself. The flavor is just on another level compared to the pre-ground stuff. And be a little careful with those loose spices you see in big bins. I know they're tempting, but there's a much higher risk they could be old or even contaminated.
And that risk of contamination is part of a bigger issue called adulteration. This is where, for example, a supplier might mix cheap yellow dye into turmeric powder to make the color pop, or add papaya seeds to black peppercorns to bulk them up. Seriously, your best defense is to always buy from a brand you trust in a sealed package.
All right, let's get to the really fun part. We're going to do a quick lightning round tour of the pantry. Let's meet some of the most common, most essential spices you'll probably have in your kitchen right now. First up, chilies. They're the champions of adding that gorgeous, vibrant color and, of course, that satisfying kick of heat. Fun fact, that heat comes from a compound called capsaicin, and it's mostly in the seeds and the white part inside. Next, turmeric. This is what gives so many dishes that beautiful golden color. It's actually related to ginger, and people have been using it in traditional medicine for literally thousands of years. Then we have coriander. The amazing thing about this plant is that we use both parts, the fresh green leaves, which you might know as cilantro, and also the dried seeds, which have this warmer, more citrusy flavor.
And we have to talk about the king of spices, black pepper. Believe it or not, for centuries, this was one of the most valuable things you could trade in the entire world.
Let's talk cumin. It's got this incredible, warm, earthy flavor that's just essential in so many cuisines, from Mexico all the way to India. And it's also known for being great for digestion. Now for a really interesting one, asafoetida, also called hing. When it's raw, it has a really strong smell. But if you fry just a tiny little pinch in some hot oil, it completely transforms and adds this amazing, savory, almost oniony flavor to your food.
So what happens when you start mixing these spices together? You get a spice blend, and garam masala is probably one of the most famous. The name actually means hot spice blend, but it's not about chili heat, it's about the warming effect of the spices. Pro tip, always add it right at the end of cooking to get that full aromatic punch.
Okay, we've talked about a lot of awesome spices, but we absolutely cannot have a conversation about flavor without talking about what is arguably the single most important ingredient in any kitchen: salt.
Salt is a total workhorse. We think of it for taste, right? But it doesn't just make food salty, it makes everything else taste more like itself. It makes flavors pop, but it's also a fantastic preservative, and our bodies literally need it to function properly.
And here's a really, really important health tip. When you buy salt, please make sure it's iodized salt. It's probably the single easiest and most important thing you can do to prevent iodine deficiency, which is a really serious health problem around the world.
And this right here is the great salt dilemma. We need it, for sure, to avoid problems like iodine deficiency. But at the same time, way too much salt in our diet can lead to high blood pressure. It is a very, very delicate balancing act.
Which brings us perfectly to our final and honestly most important point. This is the golden rule that really ties everything we've discussed together.
Look, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. The key to amazing food and to good health is balance. It doesn't matter if we're talking about a fiery chili or a simple grain of salt. The goal is always harmony. Not too much, not too little, just right.
So let's do a quick recap. We've learned that spices are our tools for building flavor, color, and aroma in our cooking. We know they can even help our digestion. Choosing them carefully is key to avoiding some nasty health risks, and we know that salt is absolutely fundamental. But we've got to use it wisely. It always comes back to that one word, balance.
So next time you're in the kitchen about to cook a meal, just think about it for a second. Of all the flavors in the world, what's the one your kitchen just can't live without?